Am I spinning this again or are we going with this?
What did it land on?
8.
It landed on 8. So we're going to find out what that means
I
right
didn't
now.
even see this. Look at that.
Tell us a travel nightmare.
Easy.
Yeah.
I was just telling the
Figured it's easy for
casting
you.
director this in LA like 20 minutes ago. I was in Lebanon in December, and I'm minding my own business, just driving through. All of a sudden, I end up through a Hezbollah checkpoint. Yeah, they're not the government, but they don't care. That was an issue.
Were you
that
pissing
was
your pants, or?
Yo, dude, that was if that was the only bodily function I was doing it was like everything. It was the scariest thing ever. Like, cause like Wolf Blitzer scares the shit out of you, right? Like he goes and talks about the Mideast in front of a 20-foot like a Ouija board, and you're like, I'm gonna end up with a bag on my head and a ransom note, and Louise Shallow's gonna have to like do some Liam Neeson shit to have to get me out. That was by far the scariest.
You are nowhere even close to my answer here. I just want you to know this.
But
I'm
like
gonna surpass that 100 by,
excuse
by,
me,
by,
sir.
by 100 times. So I have to outdo you already. And it wasn't the terrorist threat that was on my plane flying over the Atlantic to the Shannon International Airport in Ireland.
Okay.
It was my kids and my wife. The second the airline door shut, flying to Las Vegas, everyone, including myself, started vomiting on the way to Las Vegas. So a 5-hour trip with 2 newborns puking and doing everything else all over you for 5 hours will bury any travel nightmare you ever have.
All right, I'll
I gotta back up though. Casting. Casting. You were with a casting director. So are you going to try? You want to be in film? You want to be in TV?
I was just contacted for Titan Games next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. They saw me do
Coach,
powerlifting
participant?
stuff. No, participant.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah.
I think he should do it in a second. I honestly, I mean, I'm obviously big on him, as you know, and I think he would offer something to the table that, that'd be very interesting and different, and,
But you're
Hello,
cool,
world.
calm and collected
Tiger
now.
said.
But I feel
What's
like
that?
in competition, like that
Beast.
switches, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're athlete first, right? But I think the advantage I have in a competition like that is like, okay, what's the sport, right? Programming for sport and physiological adaptation is what I do for a living. So it's like, I know my own limitations or lack of limitations on performing under pressure. So it's like all I need to do is program for the demand of the sport and then execute. Like
Man, if it's like some sort of like any type of gladiator obstacle where you're going toe to toe or head to head with somebody, man, that's got to be bad news for
we
the
should
other
help.
dude.
We should try and figure out a way to help with this, because you know what, he should be on it.
Put it like an Oscar campaign together, like something like that to
I'm
get
in.
him on there. Let's do it.
I'm in.
Let's do it seriously. All right, let's. We'll keep going. Let's move it. So let's go again.
yeah, you go
Does that mean
spin.
no?
Yeah, go for
Let's see
it.
what you got. All right, he's gonna spin it off the bearings here. Oh, what the fuck was that?
That at least went around once.
Yeah, sure.
Number 5, define fit. I think fit is the ability for someone to be active, to have good energy, to take their shirt off, and to feel and look like they're in shape. A specific level of movement quality also. They're not walking around all banged up. I mean, fit for me is not just about aesthetics. It's about, movement. It's about health. It's about, having some balance in their life. Like someone who's fit, I mean, they're not trying to be like Jordan and total 2,000 pounds in in powerlifting, and they're not trying to be like me in specific areas. They are looking for balance. So I find fit as being all those characteristics.
And that's what I thought. I thought it would be different for you than for Jordan, because Jordan is in a competitive sport.
Yeah, but there's a lot of what Jordan does that I absolutely love. Like him and I
Right.
went, him and I went today. We were deadlifting together, and I love trying to pick up heavy stuff. I love picking up heavy stuff, and the difference is he's a monster and a lot bigger than me, and he competes. I don't compete.
Right.
But I mean, how he trains and what he does, I mean, that's right my sweet
Right. It
spot.
doesn't mean that you don't have an appreciation for it, but I'm
Right.
just saying in fit, like as you said, it could be something. I think it changes for each person, right? So
Right.
it may be just about aesthetics for somebody. It may be a hybrid of things. And for Jordan, it may be like, as long as I can or Jordan or someone else in Jordan's position, and I'm not trying to speak for you, but it could be as long as I lift the most I can lift in terms of like my competition, that's fit.
Yeah, I mean, I would never define myself as fit. Like, I think fit is more of like a more broad-reaching general term for
Yes.
people. It's like,
More
you want to,
GPP.
yeah, like you want to pick up your kids and you want to play football with your buddies on a Sunday before the game, kind of thing. Like, fit is more like activities of daily living thing. Like Don said, like fit and high-level performance don't necessarily go hand in hand, right? It's about balance, it's about symmetry, and both. I think fit enters almost equally into the realm of cyclical psychological as physiological, right?
Do you do a lot of cardiovascular work in what you're doing right now?
It depends on where my limitations are. Like if my limitations in strength can be stemmed back to a decrease in work capacity, then I will train for that work capacity to be a point where that's no longer a bottleneck in my training towards my objective outcome.
Is that something that you've that's evolved, or that you've done trial and error with, or is it something that you've kind of known, or maybe you've asked other people, say Don or other people? How did you come to that?
A lot of it came down to when I started looking at the science behind HRV, and then increasing that variability as a means of quantifying your resting sympathetic state. So doing more heart rate intensive work increases the variability, decreases the sympathetic tone, and then that is shown to be a driver in performance because that helps push recovery.
Say that in English for some of our listeners, though.
Yeah, do cardio.
No, seriously.
So like, you want to do cardio to get strong, because sometimes getting strong means working in an energy system that you're not used to working in.
Right.
Like, just like anything, like the answer you want is in the place that you least want to look, right?
Yeah, like I don't look as cardio. People ask me cardiovascular as fat burning. I look at cardiovascular more as like your foundational work to be able, not really your foundational work, but your work to be able to recover and repeat, and just having more horsepower in the engine. Like I love what Ben Bruno always says about cardiovascular training. He's like, resistance training is the entree, cardio is the side dish.
Yeah.
Like people put too much value into making cardio the entree, and I think that's why a lot of them don't receive that benefit unless they're professional sport or their hobby is marathon running or triathlons. Okay, it's different, but I still feel like you need that foundational work, and that foundational work is a form of resistance training.
And for me, sometimes I just use cardio work to think. If I have something to think about, like I'm there. I don't have to do anything besides what I'm doing. And it gives me that chance to just be by myself. And I use training as that as well, but it's just another outlet for me sometimes.
Is my spin?
Use your spin.
All right. What we got?
Yellow 7.
What's it? Then say something nice about them. Wait, do you want me to name them by name?
Holy shit, do we really have to do this?
How is this?
Yeah.
I feel like all these are just being like, it doesn't matter. That was coming up now.
No. Listen, I was hoping
someone you despise is a strong word.
That's a tough word. Do we have to answer this?
Okay, well then let's just say strongly dislike, hate, loathe. I mean, any word you want to put in there, but
I don't know, man.
I feel like
industry figure.
It doesn't have to be industry, but I mean, it probably would make a little more sense.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it.
Yeah. Please,
I'm going to go out there.
All right.
This kid Kino body makes me sick.
Oh, all right. Can we go all in? Can we double down on this?
This kid Kino body, and if you're listening right now, dude, you make me sick.
Yeah.
First off, he tried taking credit for training one of my clients, Ryan Reynolds, so he deserves to be called out. That's a one, because he's full of shit.
Sure.
Okay. Supposedly he's living in a big. He's posting stuff in a big mansion.
Inherited.
That's his daddy's mansion.
Yeah.
That's not even his mansion.
Yeah.
Okay. And thirdly, like, dude, like, I don't understand what you're even posting. Like, you're 23 years old, trying to talk about all this training experience that you have, and come to New York, man. Come train. Like, let's have some fun. Stop hiding behind your fake McLaren that you're ready.
But Don, you got to say something nice now.
I did.
What was that?
That's exactly what I just said. I said something nice. No, I said something nice
His
about
dad
it.
has a nice mansion?
You've got a good body, dude.
Oh.
He's got a good body. He does.
Yeah, I know.
He's a good body. He's got nice hair, too.
I got one.
He's got nice hair. Dude, I'm only kidding. I'm breaking your balls. But you do have nice hair.
Yeah, come to New York. Let's play. He's a Toronto. He's a Toronto kid.
He's a Toronto kid. He's probably super nice. And I'm probably just...
Is that just a Canadian profile?
Now Don's feeling guilty. Now Don's backtracking.
No, but I didn't like the whole superhero thing. I didn't like the whole superhero thing. You don't turn around and you don't paint a false picture that, oh, you want to look like Deadpool, you want to look like Ryan Reynolds, swipe up, because there's nothing that he did there that was even resembled anything that Ryan did. Because I've been training Ryan for 12 years. Yeah. So let's just be very clear. So that's why if I'm upset, I'm not that upset. I'm just trying to do this more for camera. But why am I throwing gas in the fire right now? Because you don't do that, man. Don't be a fake in the industry. But own it a little bit.
But it's okay. I think it's okay in that sense to be upset. If somebody professionally, you perceive somebody as trying to infringe on what you're doing or take what you're doing, like that's something that you would stand up for.
But that's fine. He needs it. I don't need it.
Yeah.
Go too nice.
Right. Shit. Where to begin?
I went off on him. That was too nice.
Aubrey Marcus.
Okay.
All right. Well, no, it's just
Oh, God.
I think it's more about that infringement thing. Like, I think here's a company that sells a model of optimization where in a world that everyone needs to adapt, right? And it's a lead from the front. Like, you know, I own a training business. I own an education business, and guess what? I train and I educate.
You educate all over the world.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't think, you know, becoming a modern day shaman, like doing fucking DMT doesn't make you a shaman, it makes you a fucking drug addict. So bringing that into the popular culture, and Joe Rogan's partly to blame for this. Like, everyone's trying to be like, you know, do like mushrooms and
it sets a
peyote.
bad example also. You're going to have young kids listening to this stuff that are immediately thinking that these are their idols, and I think it's bullshit.
Well, I just think the brand's built around off a false narrative and off a false idol. Like, I think that and maybe say something nice, like, I think it's brought a conversation to the table about the importance of being more mindful as someone who operates in the world. But I think going about that in a very, I don't even want to say a circuitous way, but doing it in somewhat of a dangerous way. Like, you know, if you gotta rip like LSD just to get out of bed in the morning, man, it's like, that's not a spiritual, that's not an experience anymore. That's an addiction. And I think pushing that narrative and that lifestyle and this like polyamorous, like, you're not pushing a narrative of responsibility. You're living this Peter Pan sort of thing, and you're glorifying it and making it glamorous, and you're doing it under the guise of a fitness brand. And, you know, I don't care if your kettlebells have like 8 faces on them, man. It's like, can we actually talk about work? Like, can we fucking swinging mace in our underwear, and like, can we actually do something towards a goal? Like, I hate to pull Joe Rogan into this, but like, the amount of influence that they've had over like people who are otherwise quite impressionable that listen to them. There are people, I guarantee you, who've gone to Peru and done these like peyote, DMT retreats. And it's like, man, maybe if you cracked a book and worked on yourself and like, you know, got a 9 to 5 and did your homework and shit like that, you'd be better off. So I think it spins a false narrative for people, and it gives them a false sense of like belonging and responsibility, where it's like, no, dude, you're just a fucking drug addict.
It also starts putting too much emphasis into things like you said, drugs or products, and it takes a lot of individuals' focuses away from the basics, things that we just need, like sleep.
That's time.
And they're putting all this value into whatever.
But he's got to say something nice.
Oh, no, I did.
He already did.
I admire the business acumen. And
I'm sorry, it was buried. I was just.
Oh, trust me, and that was.
He's got a hot wife.
And that's a reach.
Got a hot wife. She's kind of sexy, right?
All right.
Okay, you can say that.
That's
That's
neither
really good.
confirm nor deny these allegations.
Don's turn.
She got a sexy wife.
So he's gonna lead with that.
Did you?
Yeah, that's what I said.
spin?
He's got a sexy
No,
wife.
you're spinning.
right.
So I took up both. Oh, my bad.
No, it was good.
Oh, yeah, you did.
No,
No,
I said
you did
keto body.
Yeah,
Keto
that's
body.
fine.
You know, with my fake, with
I'm
this
really
fake
excited to see what the next one is.
You hear that?
It's a solid spin.
Green 3?
We done 3?
I think we did 3.
Yeah.
Pros and cons.
Hold on.
We didn't think this through.
4.
Done.
Let's do 4. Never have I
Oh,
ever.
see, what is this? We're gonna play Flip Cup after this? What the fuck is this?
Actually, it's a
man.
great game.
Yeah, but this doesn't have to be anything salacious. It can be something, you know, that either you want to know about Don or that you want to know about Don.
I don't even know how this works.
I don't even
Okay.
understand the question.
Okay.
I never understand how to answer this.
We actually have an app that's generating these, and I'm dead serious that I'm reading the first one that came up. Never have I ever broke someone's nose. I'm dead serious. That's
So
what we
wait, do
got.
I drink if I've done
No,
that?
I guess if you've done it,
Where are the beers?
yeah.
Oh, you don't drink.
If you've done it, I don't even know what you do. I guess
Never
you
have
just.
I ever broke someone's nose?
I've never broken someone. Well, no, I haven't.
Well, I don't technically know if I broke the person's nose. I've hit people, you know.
You have hit people in the
Yeah,
face. Well, how old were you?
When I was a young kid, I mean, several times, and I got into some fights. I mean, I got jumped in Huntington once by 6 guys. I got the crap kicked out of me. God, I mean, in high school, I mean, like I said, at the age when I was really struggling with my hearing and stuttering problem, I was getting into fights
A
all
lot
the
of
time.
people like bullying you.
Yeah, they were making fun of me, and I just at one point I was just like, I'm not taking this shit anymore. And I was my old man's looking at me, he's just kind of nodding his head like,
Yeah.
you know, how am I gonna get pissed at you? But yeah, I've hit several people in the face, and I didn't go to see if they broke their nose or not. I didn't really
You didn't
care.
ask them? Well, I mean,
Is
I
your nose
think,
broken? Like,
I
you
think
know,
it's more like, do you feel like you did? Like, if you said you did, like, I don't think anyone's going to track down those people, but
I don't even know.
no?
I don't know.
You know if you connected, though, right? I mean, I feel like...
Yeah, I mean,
connected, but-
I could confirm. Like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I played competitive ice hockey in Canada, and I was a bouncer from the age of 18 to 24. So, like,
Many a noses.
many a nose, jaw,
had my nose
orbital
broken.
bone. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's broken nose. That's standard
What was...
issue.
Do you remember the most...
The worst one?
Yeah.
I worked at a nightclub called Mint. It was in Windsor. Windsor's kind of like a border town with Detroit, and so it's like it's either going to be you or them, and so it's always going to be them. So yeah, there's this one kid, he grabbed up one of our photographers. So we had like a photographer in the nightclub. It was a nicer spot, nicer for Windsor still, like, but he grabbed up one of our photographers for no reason, like had like one of his cameras around his neck, and then one he was shooting with, so he grabbed him by the camera strap from around his neck, and this kid just had like a death grip on him, and like just we were trying to pull him off and let him go, so I just grabbed him by the collar, pulled back, and just connected, and then he let go.
We got another one.
Let's go.
Never have I ever woken up in a police station. No. Oh man, Don.
What do you mean?
Don was like hoping that we just skirt past.
No. I thought he was answering first. Never have I ever woken up in a police station. No, it was like 21 years old, like a little joyride.
Drunk tank?
No. We weren't even drunk. It was just kind of one of those check-in, check-out type of things where.
You just check in, say hi to everybody, and then
it was bullshit. Nothing was on my record from it. And it was one of those things. In all honesty, down in Miami, and. Down in Miami, I was at a place. I told you the story. I was down in Miami at a place called Wet Willie's, and I walked in with my buddy. We just got off the plane, and we ordered some of those daiquiri drinks, and we were talking to some women, and a bunch of cops grabbed us and threw us down the flight of stairs and locked us up, and then they let us out. It was like one of those things. They actually, Miami-Dade County, there were some articles out in the past how people from New York were getting locked up for no reason, and we just happened to be one of them. So it was one of those things where we hired an attorney, everything got dropped. It was complete bullshit.
And name an overrated method of recovery.
Do you want to go? I feel like I need time to like. How do I prioritize? Because it's like all of them. Can I say all of them?
You could say anything you want.
I think I'll answer this by like saying what's an underrated recovery method. The most underrated is effective programming and periodization, fatigue management. I think that's the most underrated.
I love that answer.
It's like there's too many people. Like everyone is focused. Like if I have to see another douchebag with blue light blocking glasses worrying about like his sleep, it's like why don't you work harder? Have you ever tried trying? Like that'd be a great idea.
And you've got a point there. It's at some point though, I think people just start reaching. And they're just trying to. It's like, give me whatever you have because I'm struggling so much. But the reality, like the other day,
how many people do you know that train that hard?
But what do they go to?
They don't.
What does it go to?
But let me just discuss one thing. I'm wearing this the other day, and I was having some tough nights to sleep, and I'm like thinking, like, do I need to buy this air cooling system for my mattress? Like, am I hot when I wake up? I'm thinking all this stuff, and then I was just like, holy shit, I'm working till I go to bed. Like, stop doing that. And I made myself stop, and then like out of nowhere, my numbers like went through the roof, and I was just like. All right, dude, I'm ready to spend like thousands of bucks on stuff that I just don't need. And the reality was like something really simple. Yeah. Like stop being on my handheld till 9 o'clock and trying to go to bed at 9 o'clock. No, it's just, I don't sleep good that way. And I know better. So
what's a recovery fad right now? Like what is like the in thing, we'll say?
Step counting is big, which I don't hate, but I think like, I think do it for the subjective experience. Don't chase an objective number. Like, grab your girl, go down on the beach, just stroll. And if you get 10,000, you get 20,000, you get 6,000. Yeah. Like having that's another stress, that's another thing I got to do. It's like I got to pay my fucking phone bill and my mortgage and this, and I got to book another flight. It's like, oh shit, I got 2,000 steps. It's 2 a.m. I'm pacing around Brooklyn trying to get to. It's like, nah, man, like to live.
Yeah, but and I agree with that. But it also comes down like if someone's going to do cryotherapy and they're going to walk out and they're going to feel better, then all right, like, well, who am I to tell them no? Like, there's a lot. There was a system that I used for a while called a beamer mat. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I have. You got it upstairs.
No, I don't have it anymore.
I thought you had it at Trav.
No, I used to have one at my house, and that I didn't know if it worked or not. Like I couldn't. Like I got on the thing for 6 months, and it's like a microcirculation system where it's supposed to help produce new cells in the body, and like you're sitting on this thing for 20 minutes like this, like every day for 6 months, and I'm like, I don't feel anything. Yeah. So like stuff like that, it's very tough to quantify. So.
How about CBD? I feel like that's everywhere now. So is that like what's
go? I mean,
I think there's a novelty because you're reaching from a place of like a new law has been put in place. I mean, we all grew up with the kids that smoked dope at the back fence and the Bob Marley and the flag with the marijuana leaf, and now all of a sudden it's legal and you can put it on your.
Yeah, but it's different too. That's THC. I mean, this is something completely different.
But it's like there's cannabis companies, CBD companies that are marketing under the flag of that leaf, right? Especially in the fitness industry. Like if we want to name, actually I don't even want to name names because I don't want to give them more press, but it's like I have not seen with any high value or rating from a research standpoint, things that have proven some of the claims that these CBD companies are making when it comes to, you know what, want to reduce anxiety? Yeah, don't work till 9 a.m. on your handheld. You know, make a schedule, be responsible, show up on time. That'll reduce anxiety more than just like, or from my wheelhouse of like, hey, my knee hurts. It's like, okay, that could be part of it. Perhaps there's an anti-inflammatory property to it. But then ask the better question of why are we creating so much local inflammation to begin with, right? You can't out CBD shitty movement, you know what I mean? And I think that gives people a false sense of confidence in going forward with managing injuries, because they're like, oh, I'm just going to put this cream on it and everything will be like great. And it's like, well, maybe you need to actually fix the underlying mechanics of why it's not great to begin with.
Yes.
And the thing, I get pitched these a lot, these companies, and like there seems to be a new one sprouting up every day. They're getting athletes on board with it, and it's confusing to a lot of people. And I think that they think that just because they're seeing a lot of it, that it definitely is something that they either need to pay attention to or something they need to buy into.
I actually have a doctor coming on that I'm inviting on who's going to discuss it with us. And there is a company right now, I can't name the company, but they have partnered with a bunch of doctors and they are starting to do research. Whether they can publish that and it's something that's going to be picked up by PubMed or not, I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, there's some, right now it's been proof is in the pudding. If you could slap a CBD patch on someone and they have tendinosis in the elbow, do I agree with Jordan? Yeah, there's probably some underlying issue going on in the shoulder or another area of the body that needs to be addressed. But if you're just slapping something on someone and they're suddenly relieve the pain and they don't have to pop 80 Advil, then like, all right, dude, it's totally cool. But I mean, the research on 99% of the products, it's shit. But it's the same time when I get a question about creatine. Is creatine a good supplement? I'm like, yeah, creatine is one of the most researched supplement on the market. But not all creatine is created equal.
Yeah.
And then that's when the question starts coming out, well, what companies? And then you're sitting there like, well, there's some companies I do know because I have some friends that are just freaks and they'll send things off and they'll spend $3,000 getting things like analyzed, and you're like, I can't believe you're spending that money. But then suddenly you hear a company like Designs for Hell's Good, you're like holding on to it, and then you're not really promoting anything else, even though I don't have a deal with them.
Where can people find you on social? Where are we gonna go?
Instagram at the _muscle_doc. Website www.pre-script.com.
I feel like you're always teaching somewhere too. You're always out.
Next year's going to be crazy. A lot of international dates. We'll start off the year in Asia. I'll be in Hong Kong, Singapore, Sydney, and then go down to New Zealand, California, a couple of Middle East dates, Abu Dhabi, Lebanon, Kuwait, Dubai a few times, London, Manchester.
Where else?
Mumbai, Shanghai, Hong Kong. Yeah, we'll be all over.
How did you even remember that?
Because I have to. Do you remember your home address? What's your home address? Don't actually say that. Yeah. But do you know your home address?
Yes.
Yeah, so you know where you're going to live next year?
He checks his phone.
Oh, you don't know where oh, really?
Well, because I have to know because I don't have a home. So I know exactly where I'm going to be every weekend because that's like you remembering your home address.
You're like the most successful homeless person I've ever seen.
Low bar.
At Don Saladino.
At Don Saladino. At Zraz.
That's right.
Message us reps at muscleandfitness.com.
That's right. So this is episode 732.
33.
30. I always forget. Thankfully, Don's there to remind me. But till next time.
Thanks, guys.